Good evening and welcome to the April 13th meeting of the Waterboro Board of Selectmen. If you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Again, I want to welcome those of you that are here or tuning in for the evening. Couple of announcements, just a reminder, and we do have the Transfer Station Committee report later this evening, but if you are a recycler, we want to thank you for recycling. If you're not, we would encourage you to start recycling. We do have single sort recycling at the transfer station. It's all compacted and hauled in one load to EcoMaine and then sorted out there. So we've made it as easy as possible for you to become a recycler in the community. There are some silver bullets, one here at the town office, one in at the Lions. Where am I missing? There's another one somewhere, right? Oh, those are the only two, I guess. In a school.
At the school, middle school.
So if you don't have the chance to go to the transfer station, you can put your recycling in one of those containers, and those get hauled occasionally into EcoMaine as well. The other reminder, if you have not mailed in your census form, please do so. We would appreciate anybody's effort to return their census data, because that tells us how many people are in this community and kind of sets the tone for what we receive for state funding, school funding, and those kinds of things. So, moving along, we have an appointment with Mr. Ursia. So, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Board, Mr. Chairman. Tammy Jo, welcome back from Mexico.
Thank you.
Cindy, welcome back from Florida. John, welcome back from the fishing streams.
Something wrong with this picture.
I know it. Staff doesn't get to have holidays like this, do we? So,
The fish are all intact, by the way.
they are. Good. This evening is an important night because what we're doing is we're following up from some of your previous meetings talking about safe routes to schools. At one of your prior meetings, you had given me the assignment to go out and to explore what engineering costs would be, which are an integral part of this application, in order to determine real figures, accurate figures, in this type of a grant with the DOT. It's really critical to get a handle on what the costs are going to be. And so, do all of you have copies of the two submittals? There were two engineering companies that invested some time at no cost to the community to look at what it would cost them to do integral parts that are necessary for the grant application. Now, just as a refresher, there's two ways of tackling this. One, to send in an application and do your best guess. That probably is not going to lead to any success in you receiving this grant. The DOT takes a really strict look at how you've analyzed the costs. The other refresher is that the areas that we're talking about are nearly all flat. And those become the most challenging places to put sidewalks. The reason being, and one would think on the surface, well, this is easy. Sand, gravel, flat. It's quite the contrary. It's the most complicated, particularly on the old Alfred Road that is experiencing so many drainage problems already. When you start adding that amount of linear footage and square footage of sidewalk and impervious surface on top of the drainage that you have there, that becomes the primary issue. Building the sidewalks is pretty easy once you've figured out where you can get rid of all of the shedding water. And that's the basic difference between the two proposals that you have before you. If you look at the April 8th submittal from Sebago Tech, the proof in the pudding in terms of doing a very accurate analysis on the drainage component. And when you put in for this grant application, it's not just building the sidewalk, it's that subsurface and where you outfall the drainage from sidewalks. The Sebago Technic's approach was to actually do survey research and then determine exactly within state and federal law where you could outfall the drainage from these sidewalks, in addition to doing the profiles and the cross-sections of what the sidewalks would look like per state and federal standards, because this is really federal money filtered down to the state. And so that explains the differential between the costs in these two proposals too. So the alternate proposal by CLD looks at collecting the data, doing a site walk, but not doing any survey work. So I wanted to clarify that so that you'd have a clear understanding of what the differences are between the deliverables. Should the selectmen vote to retain a short-term engineer just for this assignment, what you need to look at is the extent of the deliverables. Sebago Technics would give you more deliverables in the most critical aspect of it, which is drainage. And they would actually determine where the outfalls would be falling within the constraints of Maine DEP. That's the difference between the two proposals.
Any questions? Comments?
Other comments are that we're rapidly approaching the deadline. I'm more than willing and happy to go to the Road Review Committee meeting, depending on your outcome this evening, okay? Because the Road Review Committee needs to revisit what realistic figures might be and realistic lineages, because in the application you determine priority areas. So I'm willing to attend that meeting tomorrow evening if you would like me to. The application deadline is now officially June 30th. We're starting to run short on time. We basically have, about 8 weeks to achieve this.
Now, how will that grant work? I'm reading your intention is to seek approximately $100,000 in funding, which is far short of the funds required to construct the entire project. Are we looking at a matching grant? Are we looking at just the $100,000?
As a refresher, we've made a new discovery since April 8th that the state of Maine is going to merge some of its bikeway monies and other monies into the safe routes. So it'll be more than a sidewalk program. That means the pot will be a little bit deeper, which means that our ceiling for request might be higher than $100,000, because we're finding that $100,000 doesn't go very far when you start adding in the drainage component. And the reason that the drainage, I keep coming back to that drainage component is so critical. If we don't take care of subsurface drainage and get it away, then the maintenance factor is going to be a huge headache.
Was there any issue, did you do it, you did a walk Friday?
Dan couldn't come because the commissioner had realigned his priorities that day, so he canceled all of the staff meetings. So that meeting didn't happen with DOD. However, the project engineer from Scarborough will be coming in the next couple weeks to give his opinion.
Is there any discussion between widening the road with a stripe for walking, biking area versus a raised sidewalk?
Good question, John. I think we'd have to ask the project engineer from DOT his name is Kyle Hall, and get his opinion on that as a possible alternative.
I mean, as far as, I realize that probably the safety issue as far as walking when you have it raised is, people are unlikely to pass on the left or something like that when they put a tire up on a raised sidewalk. So it's a little safer in that end, but on the other end too, plowing it, you don't have a separate plowing situation with the sidewalk. You just go over
Exactly.
a little further on the road and plow it. So anyway,
In the absence of a map, there are portions on Old Alfred Road where we would actually extend outside of the right-of-way onto private properties because it would help facilitate the layout of this, and it would also bring the cost down. So, again, in the absence of having that, because it's premature for me to talk about that until I talk with the Road Review Committee and the project engineer. Let me go back to Cindy's question, if I may, because I don't think I've answered it fully. I would envision that if the town does put in a proposal, that the request is going to be more than $100,000. To further answer your question, there would be necessity to have some seed money from the community because it helps our probability of being successful. That would not be asked for at town meeting or as a separate article. It would come from monies that we were able to successfully save on the West Road project. So I'm not sure if you're fully aware of that,
Right.
Cindy, but there were some savings there,
Yep.
and we're
And we
hoping
have to put it back into some type of infrastructure, right?
it has to go back into
Infrastructure.
road or sidewalk infrastructure, and if the board were to ask me my recommendation on that, I would say that that is a smart investment versus writing down a bond. Those are your two options.
I can't imagine a bond right now.
I guess
No, writing down the
I'm
bond.
still a little stuck on the
Writing.
raised
Oh, writing
sidewalk
down the
and
bond. Oh, okay.
and extending of the road. I see, the extending of the road by 8 feet or whatever is maybe not as critical for a drainage issue as it would be for the raised sidewalk. And then that kind of comes back to the CLD proposal versus the Sebago Tech's proposal, so.
John, your points are well taken. I think in either case, whether the sidewalk is part of the right-of-way or offset, you'll still encounter added drainage because it's a paved surface, it's an impervious surface that we have to deal with probably close to 15 to 20,000 square feet of more paved area, ergo more drainage issues. I think it's inescapable, no matter where you put the sidewalk, because it's paved, there will be drainage issues to deal with. Can they be solved? Are they so unscientific that we can't solve them? No, they're not complicated. It's just a matter of where you put your outfalls and how you pull that drainage away. And that's the work of, because it's flat, and if you don't have a survey with really detailed parts of the inch, because it's so flat out there, that's the way you're going to determine by survey where you can pitch this enough to bring it to at least 3 outfalls.
Okay, so we have 2 deliverables.
Yes.
We don't have an apples-to-apples comparison between 2 different firms, right? We've got one firm that's saying, here's the minimum deliverable, here's another one that says, okay, we're going to go a little deeper into, what's needed, all right? So I guess the question, kind of jumping here, but the question you're asking is, at what level do we want to be?
At what level do you want to be? It's sort of a 2-part question. And secondly, one might imagine if CLD was brought to this level of also doing survey work, would the price be comparable? My estimate would be it would be somewhere between $4,000 to $5,000. Right? They'd be almost equal because it's the survey costs that bring it up. But it's what leads to the accuracy in the drainage estimation.
My take on it is I would rather have this done correctly so we know exactly what we would be getting into rather than just getting an overview, applying for the grant, getting the grant money, and then realizing, wow, we can't do this, and then we're turning back grant money. I think if we're going to do this...
We can do 200 feet.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, and what's the sense? I think if we're going to do this, we need to have an accurate picture, do this the right way.
I agree with you 100%.
So we have enough seed money right now without having to raise any money from tax dollars.
We have enough seed money to participate at the whatever level the Board of Selectmen wish us to. This would be coming back to you before it was submitted. So, but we would have to wait upon town meeting. On June 12th, we'll know the town's wishes with that particular article. If the town wishes to reinvest this money and put it into this, then a portion of that savings would be reinvested back in as the seed money to the grant.
Okay.
And it's my opinion that that would make us hugely competitive with the sister communities we know that'll be submitting.
And even if at town meeting that would be turned down, we could still submit the application. There would just be no matching funds, which would reduce our chances of being awarded a grant.
You say that very graciously, Tammy Jo. I'm going to say it in a different format, if I may. May I?
I think you're going to anyway, so.
Well, not if you rule that I shouldn't, but I will anyways. If you were to submit without any seed monies, it's my opinion this would be an academic exercise, and nothing more than an academic exercise, because the competition is so intense out there, and some of our competition will be submitting seed money. So what happens, quite simply, is those with seed money go to the top of the review pile, and those with asking for 100% remain in the cellar. And perhaps we could ask, I think our representative is here tonight, if that's accurate. Does that sound somewhat accurate there? Okay, so, but thank you for your gracious way of putting that.
How long would it take Sebago Tech to put this report together?
My best guess is, depending on their current workload and what needs to be done, I would guess 4 weeks or so. Because what it means is some field visitations, back to the shop, field checks, and then final check, of which I'd be working with them in between to save the town some money, and then to have the selectmen review it, and then back to them for any fine tuning. So 4 weeks on their part. However, we shouldn't, I need to caution you that we shouldn't put ourselves in a situation where we've got our backs up against the wall and we're trying to put this together in June. Either we pursue it.
The town meeting isn't until June, so we don't know, we can't expend this money until after town meeting. And so this job can't be done until after the 6th of June.
I guess that's a relational type question you need to ask the chosen consultant if they would do a deferred payment.
With the possibility of not getting paid at all, because if this is turned down on the 6th and they do the job, we don't pay them.
Well, that's, if that's one of the alternatives, I'd like you to negotiate that with them.
I think one of the things we had talked about was if we were going to do something like this, finding some funds in our current budget to spend on having the engineering work done, and then the seed money would come out of what's voted on at town meeting.
I guess that's kind of wrapping up what I was thinking. So where is this money coming from before town meeting, is my point. I guess that will kind of wrap up.
And I think Nancy was going to kind of look or poke around for us with the budget and see if there was...
Yeah, we needed a number. He's come
Yep.
tonight with a number. So it's later in the agenda so that we can vote on it, so I guess you're willing to stick around, so.
I mean, there's
Yes,
there's
Mr.
nothing
Chairman.
that'll get people more riled up than if you ask them if we can get money in June 6th and having already spent it. There's some people out there who get pretty irritated with that.
See, I don't think it's possible to begin putting the application together, having the field work done, and achieve that in basically 5 working days. That being the 3rd week of June. And I need to be civil.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only way that this works is for us to come up with some funding at either $1,000 or
$5,000.
$5,000 level to say that we're willing to go at least do this much work to do some preliminary up to a little bit more than preliminary engineering work so that the grant can be put in, right?
That's correct.
So it's as simple as that.
Just a couple questions. One, where the sidewalks are going are basically because there's so many kids going to school, back and forth to school. So that means 5 months out of the year, we have to take care of those sidewalks. So what do you anticipate for plowing costs every year? We do West Road now. So we're gonna have another bill every year to take care of those sidewalks. That's the negative side. The plus side is that maybe we're getting a little bit of federal and state money to take care of the drainage problem up there in the first place that the state refuses to take care of. So, you know, there's 2 sides to look at that.
Yeah, and I think really is we get in, I mean, the road review committee, and I think part of this is at least like to hear back from them, okay, before we strike off and make any decisions, but they plotted this out best that they could to say, we think this would be the top priority, this maybe is a second priority. We know we're not going to you never do the whole thing all in one fell swoop. But I think that through your discussions that those priorities may change, okay? So I think, you know, a kind of a caucus of the road review committee with you and what information you have is kind of has to happen here before we take the next step, but that's...
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the number 2 priority with the drainage of, what was our first priority, and what looked like the easiest part with the drainage problem, if that might not move to number 2.
The answer to that question is twofold. One, priority 1 and 2 will be further subdivided into 1A, 2A, 2B, 2C, because the priorities as originally suggested have so much linear footage and so many issues to address that it's inconceivable that it could be done within the grant request. So what I can alert you to what you'll be seeing is part of 1 or 2 priorities being submitted. And I'm going to run through that with the road review committee tomorrow night. And what's driving that, John, is drainage issues. And also what Frank said is true. This is an unusual situation here where we've got an existing problem and a problem that would add more drainage to it, but the remedy will take away in those segments both the existing problem plus the expanded issue of drainage.
We hope. One would hope.
Scientifically speaking, it will.
All right, Willis.
Is that a 2-rod road or a 3-rod road?
Old Alfred Road?
Yeah.
A good question. I would think
I
that it's
think you better
3.
find out what the right-of-way is at first, because I can remember, that used to be nothing but a dirt road for years and years, and that was built up with TRI money, Town Road Improvement money, that's what built it up. And then the state took over the upper side and built a little bit flat, but I wonder what the roads are there. I wonder what the right-of-way is. And if you're gonna put sidewalks, I think John got the right idea. If it's best to extend the road out and have it wide enough so you can have them for bicycles or for kids to walk in the white line there. Like we're doing the other places. But I don't know. Do you know, Fred?
You shouldn't do that. You've got to have a raised sidewalk for safety. You put a rock there, and cars can go out across there, and where are people going to go? You can't go over it. It's going to be a raised walk, it really is.
So
I don't
Tom,
know
do we
what
know
it
how,
is.
do we know what the legal width of the road is?
I need to verify, but it's at least a 3, if not a 4.
Okay, all right. Willie,
And that's a town road.
Willie.
And that was a state aid road.
we think it's either 3, if not 4 rods.
Yeah, you're sure?
Well, I'm not sure, but I can verify that with a quick phone call to the engineer. But I'm almost positive it's at least a 3, if not a 4. Because it's
Because
considered...
that nothing but a town road. It was never laid out as a state aid road or a state road. It was never laid out for that.
What we'll do is we'll check the right-of-way maps for this, and we'll verify that. Thanks for bringing it up, because that's important to know.
That's, I think, the first thing is to find out just how wide it is and how much you can do. And if you're going to do anything, you've got to do a drainage program in there. If you don't, you're just wasting money.
Anything else of Tom? We're gonna have you back here in a few minutes anyway.
Okay, so I'll hold tight.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
All right, hearing delegation, Jack, you asked for a few minutes.
I did.
Tom has cut into some of your time, I just want to...
Well, I would expect that. I mean, that's inevitable. Fortunately, you see, I'm not a big speaker, so I'm not going to take a lot of time for you. I would like to ask those of you who are watching this to help us out a little bit and perhaps add a few comments to Representative Piggery's website that may help us get $500,000 for the new Waterboro Public Library. David is putting some things up on the screen there, so that'll tell you where to go, in order to do that. But if you go to Pingree website and click on 2011 appropriations, there's a long, long list of all the appropriations in District 1. And since we're W, we're all the way down at the end of that list. Every project has a 3-minute video with it, because Representative Pingree insisted that if you're asking her to give you money, or the federal government to give you money, you got to come publicly and state that's what you want. So you've got all these little videos. You don't have to look at them all. You go all the way down to Waterboro, and it's the Waterboro Community Center, because the feds don't want to talk about libraries. They want to talk about community centers. So the articulation of my presentation was all around how libraries indeed are community centers. So if you get down to the Waterboro Community Center, there's a video that you can click onto, and that will give you a 3-minute presentation that I made on the Waterboro Community Center and how the library is indeed a place where you draw people across generations in a wide range of interests, et cetera, et cetera. She asked for comments. So how much that weighs in her decision as to which of these projects she will submit to the House Appropriations Committee, I have no idea. But I'm leaving no stone unturned. So if you can go to her website and click on and go down and then make a comment about how much you would like to have this money for the town and et cetera, I would deeply appreciate it. If nothing else, you'll get a picture of all the various projects that are going on in the district, and you'll get a 3-minute articulation of how libraries are community centers. So this is supposed to go to the House Committee, Appropriations Committee, I'm told sometime April, early May, and then we'll see where Senator Collins and Senator Snow are on their side. And anyway, the only thing we have any control over is wait and see what Representative Pingree does sometime the end of April, early May. Hopefully, she'll submit it, and hopefully, we'll get a gift. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jack.
See that, Tom?
Jack's my mentor.
I
I'm still learning.
Fred?
Fred Fair Road Commissioner. I have something to tell you that Pam called me today about that bridge on the Mass Camp Road. The concrete is deteriorated terrible. It's sunk down, if you put a transit on it, probably a foot. And I blocked the road off. I called Dwayne Woodson, because he works on the bridges and stuff for the state. He told me a gentleman to call in Scarborough tomorrow morning and want to find out if we own it, or if the state still owns it, or if we can get some help on it. So I'll basically maybe have an answer tomorrow. But it's shut down right now, this end of the road.
It's the old state highway, right?
Yeah. Wayne thinks it was given back to the town, but I don't know.
Couldn't very well be. But I mean, we take care of it, right? But, well, it might turn into a one-way road, one-way street, right? Or a closed, or one entrance street, right?
Dead end.
Yeah, dead end. Anything else, Fred? Thank you.
Sorry.
What?
I just grabbed the microphone. I can see him over there.
Sorry, David.
I woke him up again.
Can you hear this? All right. Town reports. Nancy.
Oh yeah, I got the appropriation and the budget worksheets all balanced out, and now I'm gonna work on getting the warrant done. Patty had sent out some information last week that municipalities have to be licensed to use any pesticides. You see the ant traps? So if you see an ant, stomp on it. So we have 3 people that's trying to get licensed to be able to use pesticides, use Roundup, or any of that. They have to be certified. I also sent a request to the superintendent, but I have not heard back. I sent another request today, so hopefully
They,
we'll
you
get-
mean, see if they have certified,
And maybe they have a certified pesticide applicator. Did this come out of Augusta, Joe?
More likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, actually. So Fred, you might want to have, do you use any of that on the roadsides?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
poison
License.
ivy.
Anything else, Nancy?
No, that's it.
Anything from the board? Committee reports. Transfer Station Committee, David,
Supposed to be here.
how about EcoMaine?
Wow.
Willis.
That's my hardest job, getting out of a chair.
David's not going to know.
I've been keeping track of recycling. You remember, I said in January we had 19.95%. February we had 27.43%. In March, I got it done today, which is down to 24.50. And I said, oh my goodness, I expected to go up the other way. So then I got to what's happened. In February, we had 8 loads for the household waste, and this time we had 9 loads. It was 111.46 tons on the 8 loads, and with the 9 loads, it's 199.25. D&E had 19 loads this month. They had 14 loads last month. 76.29 tons this month. 52.21 last month. So I think that's the difference. We had our recycling committee last week, and there was a woman there from Augusta speaking on the mercury. They're starting to wake up to the fact that that's pretty bad stuff, and they're trying to come up with a program that can eliminate it. And I think that there's not many towns that are doing as much as for mercury as we are, and I was hoping that Clint would tell you what we've been doing as far as the stuff that we've taken in that has mercury in it and like that, and because I think we're doing a really good job. We're going to have a budget meeting. We're having a meeting of all the board of directors Thursday night to vote on the budget, and the budget is about the same as last year. I think they did give them a raise, 3% raise, because they held a 3% raise back last year. Everything's going along pretty good as far as I'm concerned. But this, I was hoping that this would be going up more this month, but I think probably next month. And I can tell you that brochure that's been sent around is one of the best ones I've seen around anywhere. I brought it enough for my committee to look at it, and I think probably some other town might get some use for it. But it's a real nice brochure, really it is. And certainly, I think a lot of waking up people to the fact that the more we recycle, the money we're saving. That 88 bucks a ton, 88 bucks a ton, that's a lot of money.
Right.
And the more recycling we can get in, the more we're going to save. Our taxes aren't going to go down because the schools and the county budget, I guess, will raise the devil with that. But I think we're doing our share. Any question?
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Willis. David, good time.
Transfer Station Recycling Committee. A little history for those who aren't familiar with it. Was formed by the Selectmen in the early to mid-1990s. Its biggest goal has always been to maintain the facilities to meet the needs of the citizens of Waterboro at a reasonable cost. Today, Waterboro has one of the most comprehensive transfer station recycling centers in Maine. The cost of waste disposal has always been a major concern in every municipality. It is even more so today as the state of Maine continues to reduce its financial obligations to its communities. This situation and other internal town costs have caused this committee to review the cost of waste disposal. We feel the producers of waste have a direct financial responsibility for the waste disposal cost. One of the major costs of operating a transfer station is residential and commercial waste disposal. The committee believes this disposal expense to the taxpayers of Waterboro can be addressed in a fair and equitable manner. The present system of household waste disposal promotes waste and rewards those who throw the most by having fellow taxpayers split the cost. This is not fair, nor is it equitable. A pay-for-what-you-produce waste system will reduce tonnage by holding the producer financially responsible, encourage recycling, and help the environment. Such a proposal is fair, equitable, and benefits the world. The committee believes we can make it affordable, simple, and convenient. We have spent several months working on various programs and have interacted with citizens down to the Transfer Station Recycling Center seeking ideas, suggestions, and patterns of use. It appears that there is a 40-60 split on who recycles. 40% of the citizens are recycling, around 60% are not. Some recyclers ask, why should I pay anything when I recycle faithfully? And that's a good question, but the answer is because any waste produced is a cost. So if you throw 10 pounds away, it's going to cost the town around 85 to 90 cents. If you throw 20, you double it. So everybody, even if you're recycling, has a responsibility for the trash they produce and dispose of. You hear about the 3 R's in recycling: reduce, reuse, reduce, and recycle. Well, there is another R also, and it's called responsibility. The Finance Committee last night voted to support the committee, and by a vote of 3-0 to 1 abstention, and recommending that we go ahead and install a larger recycling compactor in a friendly user location at the Transfer Station Recycling Center to accommodate the traffic and increase recycling. The committee has presented several plans to the board, and we are waiting for a decision on what the board wishes to do. Presently, the town is saving cost of around $40,000 from the people who are recycling. There is even more savings available. If we could increase our recycling, there's no reason why we shouldn't. If everybody recycle to the 40% mark, which I think is a obtainable figure, there was an additional $69,000 to $70,000 that can be saved. So, I mean, if the people want to get on board and recycle, there is money to be saved. There is not a lot of money in other areas in the town that can be saved. This is one area where if the citizens acted as a team and did their recycling in a faithful manner, they could reduce the cost significantly. That's my report.
Thanks, David. Questions? Comments?
I understand that, busy was it Saturday or Sunday? When?
Sunday.
And it was a mess down there, I understand. It was an awful pilot for a while. Do I understand it correct?
Yeah, we had probably the busiest Sunday we've ever had. And I don't know how many cars, I couldn't count them, but the place was just packed. And it ran, I would say, half an hour and then the power went out. And that really made it nice. Everything was full.
So what are we, as a Board of Selectmen, going to do about some type of,
It's on the agenda.
okay,
I hear.
Okay.
Hang on about a half hour, I'm going to make a decision.
Just to refresh, the committee has proposed a bag system, which would be a,
orange bag?
some sort of a bag that would be sold at cost, all right? But I think we've had a workshop since then, and we probably have a little bit of a different approach to it, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, anything else on either EcoMaine or Transfer Station Committee? New business, Lake Arrowhead has presented us a request. I know it was submitted fairly late in the process here. And it's not Lake Arrowhead Community, it is Lake Arrowhead Conservation Council. And they have requested, these are the folks that we voted a couple of years ago to fund $7,500, and I think the town of Limerick funded $7,500 in the conservation, Lake Arrowhead Conservation Council had a grant or whatever, and donations, and actually came up with the system that harvests milfoil in Lake Arrowhead. They're coming back, they've evidently already gone to the town of Limerick. Limerick has voted to provide another $3,000. They're looking for $3,000 from the town of Waterboro, and they're attempting to raise $40,000 in cash and $40,000 in-kind volunteerism to get potentially a $500,000 federal grant to design a program which can be rolled out to prevent invasive or eliminate invasive milfoil problem. So their request is that we put a warrant article on the town meeting warrant for $3,000. And I think we're in the, how do I want to say it? What kind of time frame?
Beyond 60 days.
Where it has to be a money article, be a unanimous decision of the board to add the warrant article. I don't see anybody from the Lake Arrowhead Conservation Commission Council not commission, but council here. What's your pleasure?
We're not a full board tonight, does that mean we can't vote on it?
No, I think the charter says the unanimous decision of those board members present. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it says. When we get a charter, you can whip out in.
Yep.
Boy, with the stuff we've taken out of this budget and we haven't funded, find it hard to have it come in on the, this late and throw something in when we've taken some things out that we found that we felt have been quite important. You know, if it was a referendum vote, people could vote on it that way, but I'd have a hard time putting it in the selectmen's budget. When that was finished 2 months ago.
I have to agree with John. I think that, we really scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed this budget, and it is a last-minute request that's coming in. I wish there was somebody here, because I'd like to know how they've done with the milfoil harvester that they have. How much milfoil have they removed? What have the results been? What's their plan for the future? What are they going to be doing with this money? So I'd like a little bit more information other than we want another $3,000.
And
Willis?
if they don't keep that oil down in the fluids, if you just up in Oshby Lake, boy, it's all hell gonna break loose. And I'm telling you, you're getting a lot of taxation in that whole area. And if that gets bad as some other places, the valuation of the places are gonna go down, the taxes are gonna go down, and if it gets in Oshby Lake, we're in one hell of a mess.
Of course, from what I understand with milfoil, though, you have to have a certain environment, and if you have a lake that's 20 feet deep or more, the milfoil is not going to take. So there may be parts of Little Ospey Lake where it's shallow that it could take hold, but the large lake itself is too deep for it to.
I'd say 1/3 of the lake is shallow enough for the milfoil, wouldn't you think? At least 1/3 of the lake. I mean, that whole back section is not deep at all. So
All your clothes,
you lose 1/3 of the lake.
the bad stuff,
Yeah.
bad stuff.
You definitely lose 1/3 of the lake.
I would agree with Tammy Jo. I'd like to hear something. And according to the charter, we could, by the April 9th is 60 days, so that's gone by. And it really becomes, we're down to the, between 60 and 30 days, right? Town meeting.
Yeah, May 10th, you can't add, even if the selectmen
Right,
vote,
right,
you
right.
can't add
So
anything to the warrant.
I'm not sure I would vote to add it. I think it's, it's a nice idea, but a little bit late. And I'm not sure what the $3,000 does,
Yeah.
other than the letter that we got.
I'm not opposed to supporting their efforts, but I want to know what their plan is. Long-term, what's their plan? I'd like to have more than just this letter.
Like to see the plan. I would like to have had a chance to weigh it off against all the other items that we had in the budget, rather than having it come in two months after we've developed our budget, and then have it not know exactly how it's going to be used.
But on the other hand, just to play devil's advocate, Willis is right. You got a lot of people living over there paying decent taxes in Arrowhead, and if that lake turns completely to milfoil, which is the last time I saw it was really bad, I guess, I don't know, I would like to hear more about it too.
I think
That's the hard thing.
the conversation, and then let me just kind of, just so everybody's aware, that the state evidently, Lake Arrowhead and Lake Arrowhead Conservation Council is kind of being, is the test bed lake for the Maine Milfoil Initiative. The initiative, which was sponsored by Senators Collins and Snow, as well as the entire Maine congressional delegation, was able to secure $500,000 in federal grant to design a program that can be rolled out to any lake that has invasive milfoil problems. Fortunately, LACC received $40,000 grant because of the severity of the problem in the lake and the potential of spreading milfoil to other lakes throughout the state. One of the key requirements of the grant is a 2-for-1 match. We must raise $40,000 in cash as well as $40,000 in-kind volunteer. Limerick has voted on March 6th, voted to appropriate $3,000. All I can tell you is this letter was dated April 5th to us.
Dennis?
So,
On the same line of thought, however, when there was legislation in Augusta that was going to say the places with a heavy milfoil, they were going to ban fishing derbies. Lake Arrowhead and these guys said, no, we don't want to go along with that. We'll do just checking the boats. And apparently everybody else did. So, you know, it needs some give and take in it. They had a chance to say no fishing derbies, which is the heavy usage of both in and out. And they said, no, we want them. So, you know, you need to balance some of this stuff. Sure, it's a problem with the boats going in and out, but they had a chance of doing that. And I believe they shot that down. They said, no, they wanted their fishing derbies.
I'm not sure who represents Lake Arrowhead at those.
That was LACC.
Okay, so that was LACC.
That was LACC, according to what I read, yeah.
Well,
You gotta have a balance somewhere.
so what's your pleasure here?
I don't think we have enough information.
I don't either.
So you want to invite Fitzpatrick in, or Fitzgerald, or whatever his name is? Fitzpatrick. We get him in here next week. I would say if nothing more, to understand what they are. I don't think there's any guarantee that comes with that, but
Be a good idea what they did just last year with the money, that'd be
Yeah.
good. And
That would be good.
I would think somebody would be up here to tough explain it to you.
so let's put a request out to him, Pam, and see if he can get in here, and we'll put him on as an appointment next week. And then we'll take it up. If everybody's amenable to that, we'll just roll it to next week. Okay? Item 2, not that we're gonna vote or run off and do anything, but I think it's time that we at least start some discussion of what do we have for any municipal equipment that a town employee uses while, or when there's no other vehicle available, right? So we got a municipal highway department employee, one, who I guess uses his own truck on occasion, or uses a truck from a local contractor, and we pay for the truck by an hourly rate, or whatever the case may be. But I think there's some discussion that needs to be had of, should we start to at least open the dialogue up of what is it that we're going to have for equipment that the highway department uses on a regular basis. You know, whether that's a small dump, or whether that's a, you know, like one of the landscapers has for that size of a 1 or 2 ton truck. But at some point in time, we're going to have to face that issue. And I know we're in the 11th hour of the budget, and I'm not suggesting that we do it now, but I think the discussion has to start. Pretty good odds that we will have a new road commissioner, unless Fred runs out and pulls his papers real quick here, but as we enter the new year. As a write-in. He might be a write-in.
You accept the run?
Let me say something. You know, it's come to time, there's no question about it. The time was back years ago, should have had a one-time truck to patch with and possibly pick up trash and brush and stuff like this. You know, and the highway department has been kind of pushed down. I'm gonna open up something else for you. That place right over there gets what they want, that fire department. I think it's about time we changed that a little bit and put some in the highway department. Now, come on.
Well, that's
I've
all.
seen this for 24 years. Every time they put their hand out and say it.
Well, there's no doubt that that is one piece of this municipality, like a whole bunch of other things, be it the transfer station or the roads or anything else, and there's a lot of passion for all of those different segments of the town. But I think that one of the discussions that we really need to have is that, and I'm not sure we're going to take any action other than we need to start looking at doing something. You know, we contract out all of the municipal buildings to be plowed by a contractor. You know, that's something that probably could be done. We, a number of years ago, bought the plow for the loader, which we use, I guess, for the library, and do we do the transfer station with it? So there is some payback from that, but, and again, I just kind of wanted to introduce the thing tonight based on some of the notes that went back and forth last week, and not to, again, say that we can do something tonight or throw something into the budget, but I think we ought to look at, is there an opportunity in the budget when it passes to say we're not going to contract out roads or parking lots, we're going to put that money into a leased vehicle or something of that nature, so.
Next time the deputy sheriff don't get that, get a truck for him.
Right. And he could patch potholes while he's out stopping speeders.
Either that or swap these trucks, the cars that you have when they get the new one.
So let's put this,
Truck.
keep this on your radar, right?
Well, you know that at some time we're headed toward a full-time highway department by a full-time manager of that, and at some time we're going to have probably a garage with vehicles. So in that sense, you know, as we knew 10 years ago, we were going to have a 24/7 fire department, and it was going to come. And it has, and now we know that that we're going to have we'll have a professionally managed full-time highway department. It's going to happen. The town's getting bigger, and it's more, and it's the cost is there, and it's so we might as well start talking about it this next year.
Yep. Okay. All right. You don't have to run. Old business, Forest Development Road Cooperative Agreement. Last week we received a letter from Forestry Department, and we asked that we go back out and look at, from a legal perspective, whether this thing still existed. This was signed, just so everybody knows, by Willis.
What was that?
This was a what do they call it? A M.R.S.A experimental forest development road cooperative agreement signed by Willis Lord, John Smith, and Norman Taylor back in 1968.
That was when I was a young pup.
And it's still a valid agreement according to our legal beagles. And what's happening is that they have been awarded money from the American Recovery Rehabilitation Act, commonly referred to as Obama money, and they want to upgrade the road, what was formerly known as Clough Road or as Jellison Road, as they know it today. So they are working on upgrading the road system throughout the M.R.S.A experimental forest. So I think we have our answer. They wanted to know if it was still valid. We've got a note here from Natalie that says, yes, it is still valid. My question, I guess, back to them is, does this mean that they will open that road back up to public access? Because today it is gated off just past the old Ford property, which is now Joe Witten and Bonnie. And it is gated off coming in from the other end down by Towwater Pond. And
How far in, didn't Waterboro boundary line go a little bit further than down, not too much further than where the Ford place used to be?
well, the Waterboro line is down beyond that
Yeah,
by
not
some.
too far, is it?
Well, I mean, it's down well below the field and all of that,
Yeah,
right? But the question that I would have, and I guess we send a letter back to this Jonathan Janelle in Durham, that yes, it is still in effect. But I guess the question would be is if they're going to upgrade that road, are they going to reopen it to public access?
And why?
must be all grown up.
Well, you know, I don't know what runs down through there now, other than maybe four-wheelers and snowmobilers in the winter, and it's got to be a main route, right? Down through,
It's fairly significant.
right. So, but it's gated off.
I
on
mean,
both ends.
with the money going into various projects that are needed, why this? You know, why would we want this opened up?
That, you could ask that.
No, no.
Oh,
There's, like I said, with all the good needed projects out there, why this one?
I wonder if some of it is forest management for, like the Nature Conservancy, all of their property. I know a few years ago, they went in and they redid all of their roadways, but it was so that they could gain access for fire preservation, emergency equipment, and for their field studies and whatnot.
this is, all this letter said was to upgrade the road system throughout the forest, the Massabesic Experimental Forest. So they've got a grant, I don't know how much money. But, so we need to write a letter saying, yes, the agreement still is in effect. Willis and those guys signed the town up for a long, long term. And the package, even in 1968 timeframe is, you know, like 20 pages of an agreement. You know, today it would be 200, but
You
it's,
used to go from Lyman down right through it. I've been over that road years and years ago. You used to go right through there.
yeah.
It was a pretty good road, but if they've been snowmobiles and four-wheelers, there won't be much left now. This is like my Ursia road, nothing but rock. Terrible.
Okay, so Pam, you want to put that down as something that we need to do? All right, moving along here, for committee appointment. I think we're, met this young gentleman tonight. Anybody, what's your pleasure then?
I'll
Don't have his name.
make a motion, we appoint Justin Morrill to the Cemetery Committee.
I will second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Did his fiancee get an application tonight, Pam? Okay.
Okay. Discuss vote on the abatement request that we have before us.
I think at this point, we need to table it till we get some more information from Jerry. I think he's still working on this for us.
I know these folks are here tonight. Certainly, we have had a discussion with our assessing agent. I think there's a little more clarity into what the request was, which, for whatever reason, seems to have got, I think we were locked onto one request, but I think there were really, this is a two-part request, so to speak. So I think what we're really looking for is for Jerry to go back and kind of regroup this thing together to address exactly what you have in your most recent letter. So we will not, I guess, based on whatever we vote on here tonight, but Not sure that
Need
it's...
to have that extra
Right.
information
We need some additional
and
information.
recommendation.
You're more than welcome, you certainly step forward and speak if you'd like.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. My name is Michael O'Toole. We represent the owners of the property, which you understand is actually two separate parties, the Haycocks and the Pipers. And since you're not going to be voting tonight, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now as far as the application goes. But I also would ask for your indulgence if in fact you get your information, next week being a school vacation week, my client's going to be out of town. I have a commitment if you could put it on for our next meeting.
I think that our assessing agent said this evening that he probably would need about 2 weeks to go and revisit. So it sounds like the timing will work out quite well.
Right. Under the statute, once the abatement request is submitted after 60, if it's not greater than 60 days, it's deemed to be denied. And the 60 days, I think, is up is at the end of April. So that last meeting would still make it.
Yeah, I think that's given, yeah, I think the original request, you're right, was, we're going to push the 60 days by the end of the month, right?
Right, the request,
The February 26th, right, so we're,
that's the day we mailed them,
Yeah,
actually. So I
okay.
don't think you got until the 1st, maybe.
so I think it's our intent to, Jerry's going to go back and do some work, but certainly our intent would be to try to respond within that window and go from there. But
And does everybody now have all the materials?
I think we do have everything. I think the somewhat of the confusion, there were 3 or 4 packets, I think, that
Right.
were, I guess now come to find out we're all different.
Well-
And so I think we ran off with a packet that said, oh, okay, this is the one, and that became the focus more than anything else, so.
The explanation for that being that I didn't realize that Jerry Daigle is not really the assessor.
Right.
He is the assessor's agent.
That's
Under
right.
the statute, the assessor can abate the current year's taxes. That's why I sent those ones to him and the prior years to you folks, not knowing that really you folks are going to handle all of them. And that I
Yeah.
probably should have sent them to him first because he's going to be presenting them.
He
to
makes
you.
he makes the recommendation to us, and then we act on the recommendation, so.
Okay. Very good.
Okay?
Thank you very much for your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, do you want to, I guess I'd entertain a motion to at
Make
least
a-
table that.
Make a motion to table that for at least 2 weeks.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? All right. Cindy,
Yes.
discuss, vote, transfer station recommendation. All right, here's where we've left it, right? Did you want to have anything else, sir?
I was just going to ask you if you want me to be there at that meeting. I'd be
Um,
happy to answer questions.
You're certainly more than welcome to come. I think we have all the information. If not, I think we can, either Pam or through Jerry, will make sure that we contact your office and let you know whether or not we feel that it's necessary for you to be here. Okay? All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Transfer Station Committee recommendation. David, the recommendation as it stands was that we implement an approved bag program at cost, right? From the,
I think that had changed, the at cost had changed. The way I understand the last move was that we would have an approved bag system, and the approved bag system would be 30, up to 33-gallon bags, and that it would be a sticker tie system on those bags, and that people would be given 52 stickers or tie-ons, and then after that it would cost them $1. I believe that's it, the last.
I think that was the consensus out of the last workshop, right? I'm just trying to get to what David presented before that workshop was an approved bag process. That kind of stimulated a workshop between the board and the committee. I think what came out of that was this kind of move towards, let's put a tag or something similar to what's the town that we've been trying to get tags from?
Windsor.
No, Windsor. And to at least look at that, it's an entry-level kind of paper bag, if you will, issue. I think the real question that kind of got discussed immediately after that is that going to be are we going to present that as a referendum question to the taxpayer?
Yeah, the way I recall this is the first part would be approved bag, 33 gallon, would be made a decision right here.
Yep.
And then the 52 free bags plus $1 per bag after that would be a referendum issue.
Should be 50 bags, no sense having 52,
Oh.
you have to separate everything.
Whatever, yeah.
50 is fine.
Some number, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but I think that has to be rolled out. If we're going to go to the people in a referendum vote, we have to be very specific of what that is.
So they have to buy a specific bag?
No.
No.
No, they can buy any bag they
Specific
want.
bag size.
The specific bag
No
is
problem
the
with
size
that.
only.
Okay, that,
Anything up to 33 gallons.
Okay.
Over 33 gallons will not be accepted.
yes.
But the tags, if you're gonna do something on these tags, you gotta have a bright tag, and you ought to have something on there to designate what it is, because if you don't, people are gonna make their own tags and
Yep.
put them on.
Understand?
I have no problem.
It's got to be a managed, whatever the media is, the tag or string or whatever, has to be managed to the point where it's easily managed or visible for the guys at the transfer station, and that we don't have, it's not an off-the-shelf item that somebody can get from Uline or somewhere else. It needs to be,
Staple.
right.
We're also, there's gonna find out what the total cost of having you're gonna have a man at that station every minute when the bag, there was come up with the figure of what that's gonna cost. It hasn't been done yet.
No, but that's part of what, we put into the budget, that we were going to have I should qualify to full-time. As long as the transfer station is open, there will be 3 individuals there. Okay?
Instead of be somebody at that transfer station, that thing, compactor, every minute, because those bags, there's gonna be all kinds of bags, and somebody's gonna be there to make sure they're getting the tags right, if you're gonna have tags.
So John's right, there's a step here that certainly we as a board can change the rules, the operating rules of the transfer station, and say that effective on such and such a date, there will be, today, all the signs say nothing goes into the compactor unless it's in a plastic bag. All right? We would further define that it has to be in a no larger than a 33-gallon bag, right? So we can do that. Doesn't have to be done tonight or tomorrow night, but it has to be done before we implement any kind of a program. The program, I guess, is the discussion at the board level is, do we go to the people with a referendum vote to say we want to vote, we want to implement this program, yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to make a motion, 2 motions. One would be, the first one would be to go with a specified bag, an approved bag, which would be 33 gallons or less. And that all trash, all trash going into the compactor will be in 33-gallon bags or less.
Where does the size of 33 gallons come from?
Because people with their tags might come up with this huge, big bag and drag in a 50-gallon bag or a...
Contractor's bag.
So it could just go, it could get out of hand.
We have a... Pam, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Parks and Rec uses 55-gallon drums, and they use body bags for that trash. What would they do?
I think what we'd do is, it would have a certain time when they'd bring those in, and it
Yeah, I
would
think
be, it's town.
From a municipal waste
municipal
perspective, I
Disposal.
think that we would have to deal with that I'm not sure that that doesn't get handled separately. I mean, I think the municipality has a need to dispose of waste out of 55-gallon drums or whatever the case may be. That's one issue, right? I see this as residential waste coming into the transfer station.
Yep.
Right? Now, I know that Mike gets a lot of residential waste in his Parks and Rec barrels too, but that's another story. But,
So that would be my first, motion, and then after that, you can take the next one, and that is to have a referendum article. But the first one would be to, I guess, probably should put a time on this too. How about July 1st on the bags?
But you don't want to vote it as a referendum question now, you want to wait until?
No, that would be
the
done
20th.
with us tonight.
No, do you want to do that on the 20th?
right.
Yes, and I'll be ready to make a proposal on a referendum article too after this one, but this one would go first,
But you can't vote on them until the 20th or the 27th.
Well, what you could do is you could have the bags come in on the 1st of,
No,
Well,
John,
you're not hearing what she's saying, John.
you can't vote on a referendum question, and the deadline
Oh,
is the
I see.
20th. You vote on it tonight, the time starts tonight, counting down.
Right, so in order for
Okay.
the timing to work, we would vote on April 27th.
Actually, I think we put it on
Yeah,
next week
the 27th
is the deadline, so.
is the deadline.
Right, so it would have to be the 22nd,
Why couldn't you give?
right?
the people
We would have to be the 22nd.
a choice?
Oh, wait a minute, I'm not
Both of them on the.
looking at, it's the 20th. I'm
No,
sorry.
I-
Is the bag,
if we voted on a referendum
regular
tonight,
bags
what
that
would
we
be,
had
what's the
before,
issue
and
there?
the other one for
The
the
time starts
tag.
now,
Okay,
Then they
Instead of-
decide which one they want.
having it in June at the
I
regular.
think that would be too confusing.
it would have to be earlier.
You don't have to-
Okay, yep.
I think you have to come up with say, this is what your policy is going to be, and then do the town people want to approve or disapprove of that policy?
Yeah, I think you gotta put something forward and say, this is the program.
Yep.
Have we had any communication since 2 weeks ago? When's nothing?
No, they told me as soon as they got them in, they would send one down.
But we can sort that out, David, right? I mean, that's,
Okay, so the motion is to have, go by, all bags, all household waste will be deposited as of July 1, 2010, in 33-gallon bags or smaller at the transfer station.
So what happens to people that come in with larger bags? I've been looking at all this trash lately, and I look at it, what's on the side of the road that D&E picks up, and what do most people have for the garbage cans in the backyard, and it seems like the 45-gallon, the 33-gallon cans are the short metal ones, the old-fashioned ones with the covers. But it seems like more people have the plastic one that has the covers that either the round cover or the cover that stays attached, and those take the 45 or the 55-gallon bags.
Have you looked inside, stopped to look inside
Inside,
containers?
no. Is,
I would suspect there's probably 3 or 4 bags in there.
oh, yes, and that's what I would guess. And I know that's what we do at home. We've got one bag and,
well, we used to have the yellow bag was a 40-gallon bag, right?
Right.
Which was really a non-standard bag.
Right.
Standard is 33 gallons, or it jumps then to what, 44 or 45, which is a contractor bag, right? So, and then we had the blue bag, which was
Small.
kind of a household kitchen bag, if you will, right? Right. So I think that the committee's focus was 33-gallon bag as a standard large bag, right, that is readily available, not to say that the bigger bags aren't, but in that,
It also
And what-
levels the playing field. People are not misusing the program. You know, somebody's not bringing in 60 pounds, whereas somebody else is using 20 pounds. I mean, people that have excessive
So,
trash
well,
are
before we
going to pack
go-
everything they can.
before we go much further, John made a motion.
Yeah, I mean, this is a motion, it's policy. How you do it, we can, I mean, if it's determined that for the first 3 weeks, if people come in with a non-standard bag, you give them a warning or something like that. That's up to how it's implemented. But right now, this is just, it'll happen, if you vote on this, it'll happen July 1, that it'll be standard bags, rather not standard bags, it'll be approved bags, and up to 33 gallons.
So does someone want to
And
second?
that's the discussion I was trying to have, Dennis, is why the 33? Because it seems like the majority of what I've seen has been the trash can that takes the 45-gallon. And yes, people are putting multiple bags. So in a 33-gallon bag, you saying they're not going to be able to put more than one kitchen bag in it?
Sure.
Oh, you put about 3 kitchen bags.
I usually get 5 in the big yellow bags. 5
3 or 4.
kitchen bags into the big yellow bag.
I mean, you see what's going on. Do you see the majority of people coming in with 40-gallon, 50-gallon bags down there?
That's the exception.
Is it most of them in 33 or less? Or kitchen bags?
What's the law?
Kitchen bags are what, 20 gallon?
Big bag, they'd have to drag it.
Nobody
to
fills
get
them.
in.
So the 33 is what you see standard at the
That's-
transfer
That's
station?
standard down there.
Okay, that's all I'm trying to get at, is where did the 33 gallons come
Yeah.
from? I wanted to understand,
Because of the
I just want to
standard.
make sure it's not a number that somebody just pulled out of the air.
That,
No.
it's-
Well, and if that is it, then
I know.
What
So-
if I want to use up my 45-gallon bags and I
Better
don't
do 'em
fill it
real
as
quick.
high?
Better do them real
And-
quick.
But I
Cut
only-
off 6
Use them
inches.
before
Is that
July
what-
1.
You gotta cut off.
Okay, so I actually have to cut it, I can't roll and tuck.
Is there anyone willing to second
Just
John's
asking.
motion?
Take them to Sanford.
Yeah.
If not, we're gonna kill this discussion and we'll move on and vote on the other thing in 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, a week or 2 weeks.
I would rather see it be part of the
Okay.
entire policy.
So John's motion dies for the lack of a second. I think from a referendum perspective, we need to vote. I guess, Nancy, what is the preferred? We've got the 20th or the 27th?
So,
That-
so
that-
are you saying that this is going to be all part of a referendum vote now?
No,
You're
no,
gonna
the
throw
referendum
these
vote
two
will
together?
be, referendum vote, I guess, was whatever we want to make it the night that we vote to have a referendum, which is.
I mean, that was
starts at
one of
o'clock.
the issues that we talked
Yeah,
about, that
well,
we
that-
want to keep it
and
as
that- and that
simple
may
as
very-
possible.
And that may very well be part of it, John, is that the program referendum vote will be standard bag, tag, everybody gets X quantity, after that you pay $1 a tag.
Hard to explain all that for a referendum.
But
Why?
but it brings it all out into the open. Because if we vote tonight on just changing the rules, that's 33
I mean,
gallons,
the
it'll take
rules
forever.
are, the rules right now
Convince
are
everybody.
you have to bring stuff in a bag.
Right.
All you're doing is saying it can't be over a 33-gallon bag. I mean, it's just there's just a small change here. But when you put all this together into a referendum with, then it gets complicated and there's too damn many issues to vote on.
I don't know, limiting the bag size to me sounds like it's going to be even more confusing. You're saying that very, very seldom do you get somebody coming in with a bigger bag, right?
No, well, what they call a contractor's bag, we're seeing more and more
Oh,
of
okay.
those.
And they're how
But
big?
the average bag that you're seeing right now coming in there would be around 30.
I look at it this way, listen, even if you didn't qualify the bag,
Right.
right? And you said, we're recommending a sticker program or a tag program, right? you know, if the townspeople say, yes, we're willing to do that, we're gonna get 50, whatever, free up front, and then I gotta pay $1, right? If you start to see that the majority start going to the big contractor bag, you know, it's very easy, and you don't have to go back to referendum to say, well, the $1 isn't covered in anymore, it's $1.50 now, right?
That's what I would
In a
do.
year's time,
Talking more than
right?
that.
Well, yeah, I mean, Sanford is talking $3, right?
Not going
So-
to be easy. It's going to be damn mad.
Well-
They said, this is what you do, now you're changing the rules on it.
Well, the rules change every, you know, you're gonna change the rules as they apply.
I just think you should keep it simple. I got a trash compactor. You don't know how much I can get into a 33-gallon bag if I really wanted to. I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. Are you going to open my bag to see if it's
We're
too
seeing a
heavy
lot
next?
of those now,
Yeah.
So,
a lot.
Nancy, I'm gonna ask the question again. If we're gonna vote that there will be a referendum, the preferred date for us to actually take that vote is either the 20th or the 27th.
The 27th is the deadline, as long as it's done by 7.
So we should do it on the 22nd.
So let's do it on the 20th.
By
That
the time
doesn't,
By the
that-
time they close out here, it would have to
so
be.
the 20th, if we do it on the 20th, that doesn't run out the clock by town meeting, right?
No,
Okay.
no, that one.
All right,
We
so-
can make a decision on the 20th, when we haven't been able to do this for a year and a half. And, you know, we come in here, we say, okay, we're going to do this, and then all of a sudden, people change, and it's, I don't know, it's changed probably 15 times now.
Okay, just for me, which is what I wanted to know, I take it you're pretty close to feeling how I
Oh, I
do too,
know,
right?
I know exactly how I feel.
Okay, so you're not going to change your mind between now and
No.
then? Me neither.
Okay, is the board going to enforce the mandatory recycling that we have on our ordinance?
I think that going towards a sticker or tag program or whatever it ends up
We'll do
being,
that.
I think that's the first step towards it.
Yeah, I want to cram as much as I can into that one trash compactor bag I get a week, so I'll just take out the other stuff and recycle it.
You feel
No,
like
but
that
really.
big bag, you couldn't let it.
No, but I've got a ex-Marine Corps son-in-law that he'll just make it look like he's got a feather on his
So I think,
back.
David, and I don't want to speak for everybody on the board, but I think that if we move towards a system, right, if we're going to control the system to say that it is mandatory recycling, it is a paper bag, I think that, you know, that all comes into play then. None of it's easy, and John is exactly right. We've been talking about it for a year, and we're no closer. We've been talking about it for multiple years, and you know, we're probably no closer to it today than we are, you know, a year ago. Although I think
we're a lot
I think we are with, this is what we want to do for a program. And I think we're at least, if I would say, aligned with that.
Well,
Yeah.
we've come down where the committee has come down with something that's, I thought this.
So we want to vote tonight?
I'm set.
I'm good to vote on
Nancy said
whether or
we
not we're
can't
for it.
Well, you
Because
can
the
vote
tax
as
law-
a concept to be considered for, and then make it official when you do all the referendums.
I'm not letting it go past this year. I mean, I think
So
we've
you
already
want to,
decided
you want to
that.
move that we conceptually establish this as a referendum vote, which will be voted on the 20th?
I'm
I'm fine
fine.
with that.
You want to make that as a motion?
That's a motion.
What is,
What's the motion?
We are going to be conceptually tonight voting on a vote.
That we will present a
taken.
referendum, that we will present,
That
want
will-
me to put these words together?
Yeah, go for it,
That we
darling.
will that we will offer a referendum to the taxpayers at annual town meeting,
You got it.
or in the ballot, right? That will implement a pay-per-bag system utilizing stickers, or, not stickers, but tags for any bag that, for bags of household waste. Right?
I move that motion.
With X number,
all
Right,
back?
with,
50
and
bags.
that, part of that program would be to offer some level of free tags to everybody when they get their dump sticker. I mean, that's
One
going to be the
set per
program.
household.
Right.
Right. I think
So
conceptually,
so I think that at least puts the fact that we've got a majority of the board tonight that votes to say on the 20th, we are going to vote to put this referendum to the people.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to second that?
I'll second that.
You got all of that down there?
I'll get it off.
Okay.
One more piece of understanding, I just want
Yep.
to get the right understanding, that you have said that there's going to be some sort of pay for bag, that there's going to be some sort of free stickers, or that it's going to be stickers or
Tags.
tags, that there's going to be some amount of free stickers and tags attached to this system. And there's nothing in there about size of bags, right?
right.
Okay. And if,
We can add that if that's the...
no,
majority of the board.
I'd really like to stay away from that. I think that can happen in here.
Yep.
I just don't want to make it too complicated.
That's right.
That's fine.
So,
I couldn't agree with you more. We can always change the rules and regulations relative to that.
And maybe what we end up doing is saying, if somebody brings in a bag that's larger than 33 gallons or 45 gallons, it has to have 2 tags on it, but I think we can do that.
Later.
Yep.
Why muddy, yeah, no muddy.
Okay?
Yes.
So, any more
okay,
discussion?
that's,
All those in favor? All right, so we bring it back on the 20th.
you come in with numbers in mind,
All right.
folks.
Item 5, took us a while to get to this, but item 5, vote the engineering proposals from Sebago Tech and CLD. All right, my question is the timing. Because I think, to be perfectly honest with you, I think if we scrub through what we have in either road accounts or whatever the case may be today, that I think we can scrub up, we'll say $4,500 to go do this and do it right. And I'd like to hear from the road review committee that they're in on this, okay? Because I think that what you've discovered probably is a little more in-depth than what their view of this is, because what we've been talking about is $1,000 for an engineer for a couple of days, right, or a day or so. So I'm not sure we're going to get the product that we want for $1,000. So the product that we want, and we can certainly then go back out to either one of these outfits and say, this is the product that we want, what's the price? But I think somehow we need to come up with those funds out of this current budget
We do.
now and go do it so that we have it, so that we can make a real shot proposal at securing some funding for safe routes to schools / bike routes, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, here's my motion, is that we instruct Nancy to look at where we can come up with the Sebago Technic's proposal money, and come back to us with where, if and where, what it can come out of. The main thing that I was talking about earlier, and that is apart from the motion, just discussing it, is that I just didn't want the perception of us spending money and then waiting for the town meeting to come back, and if it voted in, that we repay the money that we spent. So I don't want that perception there at all.
And I never
We
understood
found
it
this
that
money,
way.
we're spending this money out of this budget, and
All right, so you made a motion. We don't want a second.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to raise the
4,500.
quantity of the amount of money, or to have Nancy go pull all the expenditure accounts and whatnot to see if we can squeeze out $4,500 to, or thereabouts, to handle the deliverable that was proposed by Sebago Techniques. I'm not sure that we want to tie it to them or the other company, but something that's the deliverable that we're looking for, I think is the key, right? Everybody would agree with that,
Yep.
that level? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? All right, so let's scrub it, see what we've got. Nancy will come back. I'd like to hear from the road review committee, either through you or whatnot.
They're meeting tomorrow night, and I'll be
And-
there
and,
as usual. and-
Just so that we're all on that same page, that if we're gonna make, Tom said it best, it's, if you're not gonna go through this exercise, then it's academic at best, that we're proposing. So we're really not serious about it if we don't make a concerted effort, okay?
How can you do anything on that road until you get the drainage?
Oh, I agree, Willis, but I think you need to at least establish what is the entire scope. We're not gonna nowhere near get what we've got engineered for. But I think what comes beyond that is the discussions that we're gonna have to have with RSU 57 and everybody else, so how are we gonna deal with the drainage? Now, if this affords us an opportunity,
Yeah, that'd be great.
it might work out well, right? But it's gonna have to be done. You just can't say, well, gee, let's go throw some sidewalks on Old Elford Road.
And I think part of what Sebago Technics or whomever is going to look at is, what is the drainage issue? What would need to be corrected before the sidewalks get installed? So it's,
You've got a small place up on this end that you can drain to. And then on the other road, way down past where the old building I built for sand, so you got a relief there. All the rest of the way, there's no place you can put water. It's got to go either one way or the other.
Or across the road.
Yeah, but where's it going to cross the road?
It's gotta go somewhere, so and we own all that land. So it's gonna cross there somewhere. It's gotta, one way or the other, even if it drains north or it drains south on Old Elford Road, sooner or later, it's gotta cross the Old Elford Road.
Yeah. You can, there's the other side of where old Jimmy Earl's house is, there's a place you can drain down in there to go down into the brook. And then on the other end, there's a drain
There's a drain right now by Friendship Park, but my guess is all growed up and probably isn't doing much of good to anybody, but
might be a great opportunity to make the town a permanent skate park.
there you go. Okay, warrants and bills for payroll.
I think Tom had something.
Oh,
to say.
I'm sorry, no.
Uh-oh, Andy's getting up.
Just briefly, I just wanted to say for the record and for clarification, if this project is pursued, as Willis has pointed out quite accurately, there's only a couple solutions. And because we're driven by the mandates of the state with DEP, and we're also driven by the existing watershed area, and so we have limited places left. And why I think this becomes so critical that we identify where our outfalls can be soon is, as further development builds out on Old Alfred Road and on Route 5, drainage issues will become more and more of a huge problem. So what this does is, I really believe it helps us identify those outfalls, and at least in the segment, and I wanted to say this just once more, in the segments that are pursued, and if we're funded, those are where the remedies would be, both for the sidewalk and additionally. We're not going to solve all the drainage problems, but we will segment by segment. Yeah. My only question is, would this surface again on next week's agenda? I'm just trying to get a sense of my timing, and
I would say it needs to.
is that reasonable?
Yeah.
It's going to have to. You're short on time.
Yeah.
We just
can't.
lost another week, buddy.
Right, okay. Thank
Okay.
you. I'm sorry, Dennis?
Yep.
I was just saying thank you.
Oh, okay. You can go sit down now.
Yes, sir. I thought Joe had something to say.
All right.
Did you, Joe?
Warrants and bills for payroll.
He doesn't dare now.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Discuss vote in minutes, we'll have to forego that. John and I were the only ones here, and I'm not sure, can the two of us, 2 out of 4, we can't vote, right? We'll have to wait till Gordon gets. All right, decisions pending involvement, staff training policy, maps, week actions, you gotta write the letter to Mr. Janelle, or whatever his name is. Items needing a discussion of agenda items, we're gonna bring back. I think we'll have a committee appointment, but we'll look at that. Abatement request is a couple weeks out. The Sebago Tech, or the engineering for safe routes to school will have to come back. What else? Probably should have done this tonight, but I think we need to have an executive session.
Can we add that to the agenda tonight? Is it too late?
Fine with me.
Fine with me, if you want to add it.
Make a motion to add an executive session per 405-6, is it A, that's personnel issue?
Okay. Do I have a second to add?
Second.
We have to add two separate
Okay.
issues.
And a second issue for a personnel issue as well. So, on the first one, add a first personnel issue, executive session. Been moved by Tammy Jo, seconded by John. All those in favor? And someone want to move to add a second?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, we'll add those after we close all of the other things, and we'll adjourn the meeting after that. Just a reminders, warrants, bills, and payroll minutes. Road Review Committee tomorrow night, Economic Development Committee Thursday afternoon at 4, Garden Club Thursday evening at 6:30, Old Home Days Committee Thursday evening at 7, Waterboro Trustees next Monday at 6, 12-town group in this room at 6:30. There's a letter here from John Sylvester everybody needs to kind of take a quick look at. And then the Selectmen's meeting, road review just happens to be. How timely. All right, so I would entertain a motion to go into the first executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? So we will go into executive session. Dave, you're going to sign off for the night.